And in this episode, we are looking at three very heavy hitter steelbooks in the Doctor Who steelbook line, which is, of course, the Series 9 steelbook, one of the holy grails for the Doctor Who steelbook community. We have the power of the Daleks, and then we have Series 1. Now, in this part, I've decided just to look at these three. Going forward in future episodes, there might be 4 or 5 steelbooks, but I thought because these are sort of where the steelbook line really started, because this is when the BBC started to release the current steelbooks, the current series on steelbook. This kick-started the animation trend, and then that's when the BBC realised, hang on, we can re-release these as steelbooks with all lovely new pretty artwork. The way the steelbook history videos are going to work is I'm obviously going to look at the presentation of this steelbook, give you a sort of mini review on the actual content of what the steelbook's about, and then obviously do all that lovely stuff and give you a little bit of history about it, when it was released and if it was limited edition, all that kind of jazz. So that's how this series is gonna work. So without further ado, before we dive into the Series 9 steelbook, please do consider subscribing if you're new around here. If you're enjoying the steelbook series so far, then please do consider hitting that like button, as it really does help the channel out. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Amazon exclusive. Some of you eagle-eyed people might realise that's not the Series 9 steelbook, that's Season 22. I think that I just want to add this little point for people who want to protect their steelbooks and look after them. This is not a sponsor, but you can get steelbook protectors like so. This is one fully assembled, what you just simply pop your steelbook in like so, and it stops it getting scratched and marked. So it's a good little thing to have, and you can get sort of a pack of 10 of these, which I think costs about £5. So in the grand scheme of things, they're a good way of collecting and protecting your steelbooks. So this is from Steelbook Central, and you get a pack of 10. So if you want to look after your steelbooks and stop them getting scratched and dented and all that stuff, and you might want to consider that. And also they do protectors for the collection series, which I've not tried, but you can get them for the collection range if you want to protect those as well. So that's why Season 22 is there, just to say that they do collection ones as well. Not a sponsor, but just an idea for people who might want to consider protecting their steelbooks and collection sets. Yes, I said that this is a holy grail item because people really want to complete the new series on steelbook, and I think that the BBC should re-release it because this goes for silly money on the secondary market. I think it's priced at 600, 500 quid on Amazon right now, and I think that it's gone for bigger money on eBay. It is mental. So if you have this in your collection, then you should feel incredibly proud and lucky to have this, and I do think the BBC should re-release it. I think that it's only fair that people can enjoy completing their steelbook collection by adding it to the shelf, really. So yes, bit of history on this steelbook. So this was released on the 7th of March, and this was the first time a current series of Doctor Who was released on steelbook, and kick-started the trend of Amazon, because this was an Amazon exclusive, limited to 1,000 copies, and it was priced at 40 quid. If you can get it for 40 quid, then you are very lucky. So yeah, like I said, this kick-started the trend of Amazon releasing the current series of Doctor Who on steelbook, and it being limited to Amazon. So they've done Series 10, Series 11, Series 12 and Flux at the time of recording. That's a little bit of history. So this was released 7th of March 2016. So without further ado, should we take a look at the artwork? So the artwork is done by Alex Zhang. He was quite a prominent figure, did quite a lot of work for Titan Comics, doing the artwork for those series, for like the 10th, 9th Doctor. I think she did all the main covers really for the Doctors for their first issues. But yeah, this artwork is inspired from the end of the Zygon inversion, which I really do like. I love this nice sort of simplistic design, this sort of oil painting with Capaldi looking quite chuffed that he's managed to talk out the Zygons from hitting the button to destruct. So it is very nice. We have the Doctor Who logo there, the complete 9th series, BBC 12, includes all 12 episodes plus specials. So if you move to the side, you have the side there with the lovely Capaldi logo 6-disc set, and on the back we have starring Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman, and we have a bit of the Jenna Coleman artwork, which I think is Bonnie or Clara. I can't quite remember, it's been a while since I've seen these episodes, so I'll give a little rundown of my thought on these stories. So this set contains Last Christmas, which I think's okay. Magician's Apprentice, I'm not a big fan of, to be honest, and Witches Familiar, it's alright. The standout thing is the 12th Doctor and Davros scenes. But then we have a brilliant two-parter, Under the Lake and Before the Flood, which I think is incredibly underrated and is one of my favourite 12th Doctor stories. And then we have The Girl Who Died, which it kickstarts the whole me arc, and I guess hybrid in a way. Well, the hybrid started way before that, but I guess this is when we started to get different hybrids, like Ashilda and Maya technology mixing. It's all a bit confusing, really. That's okay. Woman Who Lived, again, that's alright. And then I really like the Zygon Invasion and Inversion. I think that was a wonderful story by Peter Harness. Sleep No More, I admire it, but it just doesn't quite pay off. And Face a Raven, I enjoy. I think that's okay. I do enjoy that one. Then we have Heaven Sent, a masterpiece. And I think this might be a bit of a hot take. I don't mind Hellbent. I think that if you take it out of the context of being a series finale, it's actually quite good. But considering that it's the return of Gallifrey, and we've waited, 10 plus years for that, and it's sort of pushed aside for Clara, which is a bit of a shame. And then we have The Husbands of River Song, which I'm not too keen on, really. And then we have the special features there, which is the prologues for Doctor's Meditation, commentaries, complete 2016 San Diego Comic-Con panel, 9 Doctor extras, which is basically the equivalent of Doctor Who Confidential, but a poor man's Confidential, really. But at least we got that back in the day. Deleted scenes, Will Wheaton interview with Peter and Jenna Coleman, Riding Who, Dalek Devotion, Fan Show's Finest, Clara's Journey, The Adventure of River Song, Sublime Online, and trailers. So you do get a nice fair bit of bonus content. So if we just remove the J card so we can see the clean artwork there of the 12th Doctor there, I really do love this, the sort of cosmic sort of background, which very much suits the 12th Doctor very well. And on the back we have the lovely portrait of Jenna Coleman there as Clara, or Bonnie, and if we just open the Steelbook up like so, we can see the full Steelbook artwork there, which I think is very pretty. It's a very pretty Steelbook. I really do love this artwork. So if we just plop the Steelbook there, and we can have a look at the little things we get within this. So we have the Series 9 facts, which again, this comes with the DVD and Blu-ray, which is a nice little mimic of a TARDIS Target novel sort of cover from Doctor Who and the Daleks, which I think is rather lovely. And then we have some facts about the series, so that's quite nice, I guess. So a nice little feature to have there. So yeah, very cool. And then we have a nice image of Davros there. I don't think it has sort of a little thing to tell you what's on each disc, sadly. But yeah, I'm still like the little feature it comes with there. So inside we have the 6 discs, so it's a stacked one. So we've got 3 discs on each side, and the disc dial is done like the confession dial, which is a really nice, lovely touch. So let's take a look at the discs, what feature within this Steelbook. And here we have the disc art for the Series 9 Steelbook. I think they're exactly the same for the DVD and Blu-ray. So we have disc 1 there, and it tells you what episodes are contained, which is a very nice little handy feature. We have the Doctor and the Fisher King, then we have the Clara and 12th Doctor and Ashilda, and then we have the Doctor and Osgood, and then we have good old Rassel on there, which are again sadly underused in Hellbent. And of course we have the 12th Doctor and River. When the discs are removed from the Steelbook, we have the iconic Series 9 poster image there of Skaro exploding the Dalek city, and the 12th Doctor and Clara just running away, because it's same old, it's the Doctor and Clara Oswald in the TARDIS. So that is the standard artwork for the DVD and Blu-ray, so there we go. That is the Series 9 Steelbook all done and dusted, so I guess it's time to move to 2017 for the Power of the Dalek Steelbook. On to our second Steelbook, rather fittingly, it's a second Doctor story, Power of the Daleks. So this was released on the 7th of February 2017, and it was priced at £25. So this is a lovely Steelbook, and again, it started a trend of releasing an animation with a colour version. Now this Steelbook is the only way in the UK, I believe, where you can get the colour animation of Power of the Daleks. Now this is the 2016 animation, which is a little bit ropey. It was updated in 2020, and it'll be interesting to know when they get to the collection series which animation they will use. And I don't think the colour version will be on the collection set, actually. I feel like it will always be exclusive to this Steelbook. So I'll give you my quick thoughts on Power of the Daleks before we look at the Steelbook. I think that it's a pretty good post-regeneration story. The Daleks are very devious and sly. I really do like that, and I think Peter Hawkins voices them brilliantly within this. And I think that the story could have utilised the colony a little bit more, especially when the Daleks go on a bit of a rampage. I think we could have explored sort of the outer colony as well, just to see what life like was for that was. I think Troughton gives a great performance. It's very interesting seeing him find his feet, as it were, within this sort of story, and how he sort of talks about the Doctor as if he's not the Doctor. It's pretty good. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, but I will do a full review on it very soon, so you'll have to wait and see for my full thoughts on Power of the Daleks. And the animation's a little bit ropey, but of course it has been updated. So this is a very nice steelbook. The artwork is done by Stuart Manning, who, if you don't know, did all the sort of Capaldi sort of posters. And this artwork is, I guess, quite inspired by his Into the Dalek artwork, which is a very similar. So if we just remove the J card, we have this very nice stylish cover there of a Dalek there, Doctor Who, which I will say the logo looks a little bit out of place there. But we have the Power of the Daleks there, and we have the Daleks sort of growing and multiplying like they do in the story, which is a very nice sort of electric thing to represent their power. It's a very striking cover there with some nice sort of pattern detail, and we have the side of the steelbook there, Power of the Daleks. On the back we have the background of Vulcan there, and of course we have the TARDIS, which is very nice. If you catch it in the light, it looks like the TARDIS is glowing and lighting up, which is very cool. I do like that. If we move that there in terms of the artwork again, just taking a look at the back of the J card, you can see that it's a little bit of bio about Power of the Daleks and what's on each disc. And what's lovely about this steelbook is that even if you didn't have a Blu-ray player, you could still enjoy getting this steelbook, because it has the DVD version of the black and white and the DVD colour version. So even if you didn't have a Blu-ray player, you could still enjoy and watch the colour version of Power of the Daleks. So again, we have this little booklet, which I think is a nice little precursor to the collection series in a way, because it gives you sort of a rundown of the history of Power of the Daleks, about the rehearsal scripts and the idea about the story and about the new Doctor. And a bit about when it was being filmed there and the sort of the dates. It's a very sort of in-depth look about recommissioning sort of the writer David Whittaker, and about the rehearsal process throughout this series, and of course a little bit more detail. It's very in-depth. It sort of gives you sort of a weekly rundown on sort of the filming and rehearsal process of this story, which is very cool. Again, another weekly process for this, and then we have a little bit about the BBC archives and the sales, which I guess sort of matches the collection set, what they did with like the reception and all that sort of stuff, and the merchandise, overseas sales, and a little bit of animation still there, and when it was broadcast, the cast, and some more little facts about this as well. So it's a nice little addition, that, and like I say, it's a nice little precursor to what we get with the collection sets, really. In terms of the disc, so disc 1 and disc 2 are the Blu-ray. So disc 1 is the black and white and special features, and disc 2 is the colour and telesnap reconstruction, and then disc 3 and 4 are the same as the DVD artwork. So like I said, it's nice that if you didn't have a Blu-ray player, you can still enjoy watching the colour animation, which I do quite enjoy actually. It's a nice little oddity to see. I know that might be sacrilegious, but I did quite enjoy watching the colour animation for it. So let's remove the discs and take a look at the background. Once you remove the discs from the steelbook, I've got to be honest, there's nothing too exciting as a background. We've got sort of the patterning detail and a bit of the Vulcan background. So yeah, just a bit of Vulcan landscape really. So that is the Power of the Daleks. The Daleks have got their power in steelbook form, and yeah, very nice steelbook. I do like it, and like I said, it was the Kickstarter for the animations being released in colour and on steelbook, which is always lovely. On to the final steelbook for this episode. So we have the Series 1 steelbook. Now this kickstarted a trend of the BBC re-releasing all the modern series on steelbook form, and this was released on the 20th of March 2017. Now this was a great thing for me to get, as up until I guess Series 6 I bought all the Doctor Who DVDs in the vanilla release, so the volumes. So this was a great way of me recollecting them and getting the bonus content. Now this was priced at, I believe, £35, so yeah, and I think that this is quite a sought after steelbook as well, and this, I really do love this steelbook. The artwork is by Lee Binding. Series 1 was the series that got me into Doctor Who, so this is a very special steelbook and series in my collection because I just love it. And Christopher Eccleston, what a wonderful Doctor. I really do adore him. So let's take a look at this Steelbook. So the artwork, again, I love it. This lovely sort of cosmic, sort of nanogene inspired background there. We have the Ninth Doctor reaching out saying, "Do you want to come with me?" And we have a lovely Rose there. The complete first series, 3 discs. Now this isn't technically Blu-ray because it's all been upscaled. So that's a little thing to note. So we have the side there of the release there, Doctor Who Series 1, 12. On the back we have the episodes and a bit of the background, what features on the back of this Steelbook. So in terms of episode wise, let's give a quick little review. Rose, great introduction. End of the World, I really enjoy. Unquiet Dead, I have to be honest, this was the one what gave me nightmares. This is the one what scared me and made me a Doctor Who fan because I just couldn't turn away. I had to watch it. So I really like the Unquiet Dead. And then we have the Slovene 2-parter, which I think's okay. I think's alright. It's probably the first dud of the series for me, but it's still a very good episode. Dalek, very iconic. Long Game, that's good. And then Father's Day, a brilliant, beautiful story. And then the wonderful Empty Child and Doctor Dances, one of my favourites from the series. Boomtown, I think, though it's filler, it's great filler. And every time I go to Cardiff, I have to watch Boomtown before because I think it's just iconic. Battle from Parting of the Ways, one of the best regeneration stories, and what a wonderful way to send the Ninth Doctor off, really. I think that Series 1 is probably my second favourite of the revival. Series 5 is still my favourite of the new series, but this holds a special place in my heart because this is where my love of Doctor Who began. So the artwork, again, we can see the clean artwork for the Ninth Doctor, and on the back there we have the TARDIS with Bad Wolf and the Daleks there with a nice sort of regeneration nanogene effect, which is rather lovely. So that is the Steelbook. Take a look at inside. We have, again, I think that this was much a re-release to the Blu-rays, what the BBC did with sort of them in standard Blu-ray cases. Again, like I said, I don't know if I said, but this was an Amazon exclusive as well. The complete first series there. So we've got the standard Blu-ray artwork, and on the back we can see the content which is on each disc, which is a very nice little guide. So in terms of the discs, we can see disc 1, we have the Ninth Doctor there. Disc 2 is of course Rose, and then disc 3 is a Sarah Jane Adventures Slovene, which is rather odd. If we just flip the Steelbook round, you can see the full artwork there, which again, wonderful artwork by Lee Binding. Still one of my favourite bits of Doctor Who artwork he's done. Really great. And once the discs are removed, we have a lovely promo image from Series 1 of the Ninth Doctor and Rose in the TARDIS, so I do love that a lot. That concludes this episode of the Steelbook history, taking a look at one Steelbook from 2016, which is the Series 9 Steelbook, the Power of the Daleks from 2017, and of course Series 1 as well from 2017. So these 3 Steelbooks really sort of cemented the Doctor Who sort of Steelbook landscape, in the sense of Amazon beginning their exclusive line of Steelbooks in Series 9, and this kick-started the colour animations being released, and of course continuing the animations being released in Steelbook form, and the BBC began to re-release the modern series in Steelbook format. Now, all the special features, what feature on these, are available on the DVD and Blu-ray versions. You're not getting any sort of exclusive content by getting the Steelbook, you're just getting a nice way of presenting these Doctor Who bits of media on your shelf. And if you are one for sort of struggling with space, then the Steelbooks might be one way of considering to sort of downsize your collection to make it a bit more compact and a bit more stylish, really. So that concludes this episode. If you've enjoyed this part, then please do like and subscribe because it really does help the channel out, and I'll see you next time for more Doctor Who related content. So thank you very much for watching, and